Did you know that the thickness of your car's clear coat is actually less than half of a sheet of copy paper like this? Well, it's true. And every time you polish scratches out, you're removing some of it. Needless to say, making the wrong choice here can shorten the life of your car's paint job. Doing a paint correction on your car can either make you a hero with an amazing looking paint job, or a moron waiting in line for an appointment at a body shop. And what makes the difference here is whether or not you've managed your expectations properly. Because the truth is, some cars just aren't suitable for an aggressive paint correction. Actually, a lot aren't. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the difference between a paint correction and a paint enhancement, as well as help you figure out which one is the best fit for your specific car. Then I'll demonstrate both processes on this spare door that I've got here to show you how they compare. Don't tell them, show them. First, let's start on the lowest end of the spectrum in terms of making your paint pop, adding a layer of wax. Now it's pretty self-explanatory, right? Wax on, wax off. Easy. But let's take a look at how it compares with the machine polishing options. So for starters, what kind of results can you expect? Well, it's probably going to be like a 3, I want to maybe push it to a 3.5 out of 10. And I push it up a little bit because it is going to fill in some of the minor swirl marks and stuff in your paint job, albeit very temporarily. And how long it lasts, I'm going to say between a couple of weeks up to maybe a month if it's garage kept. What about time spent? Well, honestly, I think most people can wax a car in like 20 minutes or so. Risk is obviously a 0 out of 10. You really can't screw this up. And that means that repeatability, you can do this as often as you want. Can you do this with a ceramic coating, either already applied or apply one afterwards? Obviously, no. That's a big no. And what about the price to have a professional do this for you? Well, it's pretty cheap. Having a detailer wax your car is usually pretty entry-level stuff. So when should you choose to just stick with adding a layer of wax on your car? Ideally, if your paint is already in like near perfect condition and you just want to spruce it up a little or add a little bit of protection. In the real world though, this is sometimes what you just have to settle for if a paint job isn't safe to machine polish. That yellow M3 that I worked on is a perfect example of this. If your paint has structural damage, like bubbling or delaminating of some sort, this is the only solution that guarantees that you won't rip a whole sheet off. All right, now let's jump to the extreme opposite end of the spectrum and take a look at a full-fledged paint correction. This can include anything from wet sanding, compounding, polishing, etc. Often it requires multiple steps of scratch removal and refinement in order to get as much clarity out of the paint as possible. By far, the most powerful way to make your car stand out from the crowd. If you do this even to a regular run-of-the-mill car, it will look amazing. Let's take a look at how this stacks up on our little table here. So in terms of results, we're talking like an 8 to 9.5 out of 10. Very rarely a full 10 out of 10 because in this world, perfection is just not realistic. There's always little things left behind that just aren't safe to chase. The only time you're gonna see maybe a 10 out of 10 is on like a brand new car or maybe on a car that's been freshly painted or something. And in terms of filling, that's not really a thing with full paint corrections because, you know, we are wiping down the panels with alcohol and stuff like that. If you're doing it right, you shouldn't be filling in scratches. You should be legitimately removing them. Now, how long is it gonna last? Well, I say like at least a good 2 years if you're taking care of it properly. I mean, you gotta wash it safely. If it's garage kept, that helps too. How you drive it matters. Typically, the people that go for a full paint correction, whether they put the effort into doing it themselves or they pay somebody to do it, they're willing to be pretty careful with how they treat the car afterwards. So you should get pretty long-lasting results out of this. What about the time spent? Well, you're looking at, for the average paint correction, a minimum of a full week of work. A lot of times it's more than that. In terms of risk, this one is obviously pretty high. I mean, when you're dealing with compounding or wet sanding and stuff like that, there's always a fairly high risk of burning through the clear coat. There's a little asterisk here because it depends on what type of a paint correction you're doing. There's sort of a range that you can go with here where you could do an in-depth, like super aggressive multi-step correction where you're removing a bunch of clear coat, attacking really deep scratches and stuff, but also doing like a one-step paint correction where you're just kind of buzzing the paint real quick, calling it good enough. Obviously, a one-step is going to be less of a risk of burning through or something or causing any kind of damage. Now, how often can you repeat this process? Well, I have written here, it's got to be like 3+ years for sure. Because, I mean, remember, that's your clear coat right there. That's double your clear coat. That's what you've got to work with. So every time you're doing a paint correction, you are removing some of it. You don't want to do this too often. And we're going to dig into that a little bit deeper in a second. And out of the 3 choices here, this is the only one that is ceramic coating friendly. As a matter of fact, you typically have to do a paint correction if you're going to properly apply a ceramic coating. Now for pricing, obviously this is the most expensive out of the three options by far, because if you're gonna hire somebody to do a paint correction for you, it's gonna take a lot of time. You're pulling from a lot of experience if you hire somebody that you should be hiring, and that's gonna cost you. This is a very time consuming, somewhat risky process, and if you want your car to look amazing and you wanna hire somebody to do it, you're not gonna get a good paint correction for likely less than $1,000. And it'll go up from there pretty quickly depending on the vehicle and the level of damage and the scenario that you're working with. So when is a full paint correction suitable? Well, you only want to do this when absolutely necessary. You don't go for a colonoscopy just for funsies every month, right? Or are you supposed to at this age? I don't know. As a matter of fact, let's do some quick math here to put this all into perspective. Now, the average clear coat thickness is between 25 to 35 microns, right? Let's use this lower number here to be extra safe since we're responsible adults. I measured how much clear coat I removed from an aggressive paint correction a few months ago, and it was about 4 microns. Doesn't seem bad, right? We've got lots to work with here. Okay, cool. So let's divide 25 by 4. That equals 6.25. That means that over the entire life of this car, theoretically, we can correct it about 6 times before we run out of clear coat. But that's also not taking into account that the clear coat's UV protection diminishes more and more the thinner it gets. So if you factor that in, it's actually a lot less than 6 times. It's probably more like 4 times if you actually drive your car. Ideally, you do a heavy correction one time, and then you focus on maintaining it with safe wash methods and maybe a light refinement polish every couple of years just to keep it looking fresh. My dad's Camaro is a good example of this. It needed a pretty aggressive paint correction, so I did it shortly after he bought it. Now that he's the one taking care of it though, it'll likely only need a light polish the next time it's due for a fresh ceramic coating. If you attack your paint the way that I did on that car, like every single springtime, you are gonna burn through your clear coat pretty darn quick. Next up, let's talk about a paint enhancement. And a lot of people don't even know that this is a thing. Think of this as like a middle ground between waxing and correcting your paint. You still use a machine to polish it, but instead of separate compounding, polishing, and protection steps, you're gonna use an all-in-one polish like this. This fixes 2 of the problems with paint correction. Number 1, it's much more gentle, so you're not going to remove anywhere near as much clear coat. And number 2, you run through the whole car really quickly because the whole purpose is just to create gloss and not to remove every single scratch. Now, of course, this comes with a trade-off. The deeper scratches and defects are still going to remain, and obviously you can't apply a ceramic coating after this because it leaves behind some kind of a wax. Here's how a paint enhancement stacks up against the others on our chart. For results, I'm going to give this like a 5 to 6 out of 10 here, because you will be fixing the light to medium swirl marks and scratches, but the deeper stuff will be temporarily filled in. As far as how long it lasts, there's sort of like 2 different answers here, because the protection left behind from a typical all-in-one polish is probably only going to last you like 3 months. But you can boost that up to like maybe a year if you stack like a ceramic spray sealant or something on top of it, which you can do. It's also worth noting though too that once the protection wears off, as long as you've been caring for the car properly and washing it safely, you shouldn't have to necessarily do a full paint enhancement again on it. You should just be able to reapply a wax or a sealant or something like that. The car shouldn't necessarily be re-scratched that quickly. How long is it going to take you? Well, it's certainly not like applying a wax, but it's also nowhere near like a paint correction either. It's going to take you about a day. As far as risk goes, I'm going to put that at like a 3 out of 10, I think, because it's nothing like a paint correction, but you are still using a machine to polish your paint. And if like a chunk of dirt or something gets into your polishing pad, you can definitely cause some damage. It's not completely foolproof, but it is definitely super safe for the average car enthusiast to try out. What about repeatability? Well, I'm going to say you can do this every year if you want to because it's quite gentle on your paint. And what would a professional charge you to do this to your car? Well, if you ask your detailer, hey, can you just run through the paint and gloss it up with an all-in-one polish for me on your machine real quick? They're going to be like, yeah, totally, because they can do that in like an hour or 2. They've already all set up. They've already got the car cleaned up. They would love to upsell you on something like that because they can, spend an extra hour or 2 of work and make a little bit more money. So when is an enhancement the best choice? Well, there's actually a few different scenarios where it really makes sense. For the average daily driver that's likely to get swirled up and scratched again, this is a great option because of its repeatability. It's also great for cars like my MR2 here that have really soft and thin paint. If I would have risked heavy compounding on this car, I for sure would have burnt through the paint in some spots. I couldn't just leave the car all swirled up though, because it would hurt my credibility. Imagine if somebody ran into me at Cars and Coffee and they're like, oh yeah, I've seen that Canadian meathead guy's car. It turns out he doesn't actually know what he's talking about. It looks like crap in real life. I gotta practice what I preach. How else am I gonna convince you to buy my Ultimate Gloss Guide course? Finally, a paint enhancement is a great way to get started in the world of polishing. I don't recommend jumping straight into an aggressive paint correction if you've never even held a polisher before. You gotta walk before you can run. And doing this will build up your confidence so that you can learn the ropes relatively risk-free. All right, let's do a little demonstration here. So I've got my spare Tacoma door. It's absolutely trashed, but we're gonna divide this up. We're gonna do a full paint correction on this side and then a paint enhancement on the other side. Let's see how they compare. First of all, the condition of this thing is in pretty tough shape. So, you know, a silver panel is not great for demonstrating swirl marks and scratches and stuff, but you can see some of these are really deep. These are catching my fingernail. These are not gonna come out that easily. Not gonna come out at all, actually, even with a heavy paint correction. There's some deeper stuff here as well. This actually comes across to both sides, so we'll do both to compare. Let's start with some paint thickness readings here with the gauge and see where we're starting with. So this is right around 120s, 124, 130. And this is on the correction side. Let's check the enhancement side, make sure that we're dealing with the same thing. 125. So it's fair to say that both sides have the same thickness, right? 120 to 130. All right, so we're gonna start with this correction side first. And if I was working on a real car here with these really deep scratches, I'd be wet sanding it. So if we're gonna do this as fair and realistic as possible, I'm gonna sand some of these scratches just a little bit, just gonna hit them with a little bit of 2000 grit, just to round the edges off a little bit. It's not gonna remove these completely, but it is gonna make them less noticeable. Okay, let's see what we got. I'm gonna do a little bit more sanding. This is what real paint correction looks like. Sanding or polishing and then checking, sanding or polishing and checking. It's very time consuming. Okay, that's good. That's just what we're looking for. The scratches aren't completely removed, but the edges are rounded off of them. So now when I polish this out, it's gonna be quite an improvement. These aren't gonna be as noticeable. So now we're gonna jump into sort of a traditional paint correction, which would start with a compound. It looks like, aside from that deep scratch there, and the ones that are right along the tape that I can't really get at, I want to go back in and hit these parts just a little bit more. Okay, how are we looking now? Yeah, that looks better, I think. So we just have this one bigger scratch here remaining, and then these really deep ones here that are right through to the base coat. And the rest, not bad. Now keep in mind, we're not done here. This is only the compounding stage. We've done wet sanding, compounding, and now we have to refine this. Even though it's silver and it's metallic, it doesn't need a lot of refining, but I'm trying to mimic the traditional paint correction job. So we're gonna switch to a foam pad and Benzerna 3500. By the way, that was M100 compound, and this is 3500 from Benzerna. This is a killer combo. But remember, the products you use don't matter. All right, this paint is now corrected, looking pretty good, but we're still not done yet because we still have to add our protection. And before we do that, we need to wipe this down with alcohol. So I've just got a mixture of isopropyl alcohol and water in this bottle. We're just gonna wipe this down to make sure that we're not leaving any polishing oils behind as filler so that we know our results are true results. This is an important step in a paint correction, especially if you're gonna be applying a ceramic coating or something. I think we're just gonna go with Benzerna Power Lock. This is a traditional polymer sealant. Super easy to apply, super quick. That's why we're gonna use that today because I don't have a whole lot of time to kill here. Obviously, adding a wax or sealant is very straightforward. Just wipe it on, no big deal, right? All right, now this paint has been fully corrected and protected. This is good to go. That was the whole process of a paint correction. Now moving on to the paint enhancement. All right, that's it. Wipe it off. This has now been lightly compounded, polished, and protected, all just in that amount of work that we just did. All right, guys, moment of truth. Let's check out the results. So some of these, where are they now? These guys over here, they're way too deep. Even though correction won't get those out. Those are, you can see that they're black. That's all the way through. Those are really bad. And these guys here, they got improved a bit. I think that would be a difference between a correction and an enhancement. We'd be able to improve those better with actual sanding and compounding and stuff. And down here, you can just kind of see there's like some, can you see those? It's like some etch marks and stuff that are remaining. So it's not a flawless panel, even though it's hard to show it on silver here. That's our enhancement results. And now coming over to the correction. Remember, this is where our really deep scratches were. And there's that one remaining still. But these guys are definitely improved. They're still there, but by sanding the edges round, it makes it much less noticeable. We have equal lights on both sides. This is the enhancement. And this is the correction. All right, one last thing to do here, and that is to get some paint depth readings to see what kind of a difference we made on how much clear coat we removed here. 116, 120. Now over here, I didn't do any sanding. I just was compounding over here, remember? 118. Over here, I did more sanding. 117. And now let's move to the enhancement area. 129, 130, 129. So if we said that originally we were between 120 and 130 microns on this panel, I think it's safe to say that we didn't remove anything meaningful on the enhancement side. So there you have it. We've definitely removed some clear coat on the correction side, especially where we sanded. And yet on the enhancement side, it looks like we've done nothing at all so far. That's kind of how it stacks up. You have all of these products here, the compound, the polish, the sealant, the 3 different pads, or you have an enhancement with just one pad, one product. If you plan to keep your car for a long time, it is super important that you consider the longevity of your paint. Because when it's gone, it's gone. Some of the epic corrections and transformations that you see on social media might look like they were able to get by without causing any damage. But you have to ask yourself, what's that car gonna look like after a few years in the direct sunshine? Remember, the damage from over-polishing your paint doesn't always reveal itself right away. Being too aggressive is just one mistake that you could be making when polishing your paint. So watch this video next to learn 6 others that you should avoid. Sorry honey, I'm throwing my spare door back in your garden again.